what you've just seen is called Swaling. It's something that happens more or less every year between November and March, but it tends to be like the very, very beginning of March before the nesting bird season. And it's where they set fire to all of the gorse on the moor in certain zones, and people are in charge of it. The fire patrols are told all about it, and it's done in a controlled way by people who know the land. And yeah, it's just honestly so cool to witness. So if you are ever thinking about coming down to Dartmoor, then I'd suggest that either March or the height of summer is the best time. So we've had all of the scaffolding put up and it's so exciting. So I don't know if you guys remember, a couple of videos ago I spoke about the bat guy who is the ecologist, to make sure that there were no bats in the roof, to make sure that we could actually do our planned work. And I called him up in the morning that the builders were supposed to start, in the morning that we'd all agreed, and he had COVID. And I wouldn't take no for an answer. I was just there like, you're coming, I don't care how sick you are, you'll stand however far away and we'll all be in masks, but you've got to be here, we can't delay any longer. If he hadn't have actually come that morning, we would have had to put off all of the work that we're planning to do until October, which is the end of the bat nesting season. So that was quite imperative that he was here for that. And yeah, there was no bats in the roof when the roof tiles were taken off, so works can go full steam ahead, which is really exciting. We are reusing as many roof tiles as possible, and as you can see, me and Hal have been doing the clean-up every night, which is hard work after an actual day's work, but it has to be done and it's saving us a hell of a lot of money. So that's actually been a really good bonding thing for us too as well, and feel like we're more involved in the house rather than just handing it over to the builders. We're actually getting to see what they've done firsthand and appreciate how much work they've done throughout the day. So I don't think I actually spoke to the camera about this when it was happening. We had a little lamb in the field, so it's obviously lambing season at the moment, and we had a lamb in the field which was put in 2 hours after it was born, so it was really, really young, and I kept an eye on it for the local farmer, but there was something not right with it, and I had to basically help it up to feed. It couldn't really stand, or it couldn't do the motion of getting up properly, so that was something that I was having to do every couple of hours. I have told the farmer, and he's kind of taken it into a different paddock to keep an eye on it and separated it from the rest of the lambs that we've got in the field now, so that it can, there's no distractions for the ewe to produce milk and really concentrate on that lamb. Also, sorry if you can hear guinea fowl behind me, they are super loud today. I never thought I would see the day, especially with the flat renovations that I did a few years ago, that I would feel less stressed once building work starts and all the things are happening than I did before the building work started. It has been so nice to hand over complete control over to the builders, and to be fair on them, they have been absolutely amazing. I can't fault them, they've been such hard workers no matter what the weather, inside and out, and yeah, they've just kept us really well informed the whole way through. They're really calm, and yeah, it's just really nice actually, and I'm really excited at the fact that I feel good during the renovations. I was extremely anxious in the lead up, and I'm not normally the person who thinks the worst is going to happen, but in the lead up to this renovation and the builders starting, I was extremely stressed and thinking everything is going to go wrong that can possibly go wrong. We're going to have bats fly out of our roof when they take the roof tiles off, which is going to stop the work until October, potentially next year. Yeah, there would be delays in materials and all of this, but actually everything is lining up so perfectly. And our builder is so on like the same level as us, as, you know, trying to keep costs down. Yeah, it's going well. And I'm very excited. I've been on about taking the greenhouse down, so actually I just got a pair of pliers and took out the clips and they came out really easily. I need to find a ladder which is both small enough and tall enough to do the roof, and I need a hand with that because I can't reach out on my own. And then once the greenhouse is down, we can take some of our ash trees down as well. So I've spoken to the tree surgeon and just waiting for a date from him. But basically there's something called ash dieback, which means that the tree will rot out from the inside and actually become way more dangerous. But the two that are closest to the house are both ash as well. And not only are they going to ruin our new roof with all of the moss and canopy drop, but it's just, yes, it makes sense to do this now rather than in a year's time when all of that moss is then recollected on the roof. So it might not seem like a lot has happened inside, but it's basically been even more demolition work. So they've taken the chimney breast out, the roof tiles off, they've switched out 2 of the windows so that we can actually have full height cabinets behind one of the windows in our new kitchen because it was too short, and whilst they took that out, they confirmed what I had feared. There was quite a big surprise. It was not a bad surprise, but it also was a bad surprise. So a few videos ago when we first got the house and I kept finding these polystyrene balls everywhere. Those weren't just any polystyrene balls, those were actually our internal wall insulation, so it was pumped through the 2 walls to give extra insulation. So it's not a bad thing, but it does mean that they have spilled everywhere again in all different areas. They have also put in lintels above all of the windows, which will help support the steels. We are actually having 16 steels. I thought it was only 3, which is, yeah, quite something. They don't cost any more, so it was fine. I just was mistaken in thinking there was only 3 because I didn't understand the structural engineer's plans. So I'm not sure whether I've mentioned before on my channel, but I really struggle keeping ferns alive, and yeah, I don't have any ferns in my houseplant collection now. But we always joked that how could a roof keep a fern alive? There has been a fern growing on the roof, so when we were taking all of the moss off, I made sure to plant that, and yeah, it's now in the border on a shady part of our house, so let's see what happens and see whether I can keep that one alive or whether it was just happy on a mossy roof.